So let's start this class. Everybody, welcome. And I do actually have one more minute, so welcome everybody as you're coming in. Here we go. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to Virtual Veronica Hatha Flow. This class usually takes place at noon to 1 Fridays at Teagle Hall. So in the meantime, we'll be in your homes and in my space for the time being. I hope everybody is managing this current situation we're all undergoing, and just want to send you virtual vibes, positive ones of course, of connection, and it's all going to be okay. So let's take some deep breaths as we really feel that intention deep within our hearts. We're all in this together, as the saying goes. So go ahead and take a really comfortable seat. I'm elevated on a block. If you have a block or a blanket, you can roll up a blanket and really ground down through your sitting bones. Take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes if you'd like to do that, or keep a soft gaze towards the front of your mat, whatever is more comfortable for you. And then open up through the chest. Take a really deep breath in. Feel your lungs expanding. Feel your rib cage kind of separating as it grows to fit your big lungs. Taking a big breath in, and then exhale. Let yourself truly release some of these emotions, thoughts, tensions, anxieties. Take another deep breath. Let your shoulders feel like they're just melting down away from your ears. Relax your arms, relax your hands and fingers. Keep breathing here. This is what we have to keep doing, and keep reminding ourselves to come back to the breath, the ever consistent, stable breath that we have, that we can rely on. So even when everything feels like it's completely out of control, we do have the breath. So may that give you solace. Inhale through the nose. You can feel free to part the lips and let the air escape through the mouth. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring your palms together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, and then just begin to think about an intention that you'd like to focus on today in your class, in your practice. Not only your physical asana practice, but your mental, spiritual, emotional practice today. Give yourself this time to form a dedication. Breathe fully into your dedication. Keep coming back to the breath. Breathe fully, authentically into what you feel is important and necessary for you today. And then once you have formulated an intention, you can release your hands back down to your lap. Let your eyes flutter open gently if you have them closed. And just acknowledging your space, being grateful for that space that you have, being grateful for the fact that you can still practice yoga while all of this is going on. And let's go ahead and transition to a tabletop shape. So if you're on a block or some books or something, just move that out of the way and come on into your tabletop shape. Let your hands spread out, shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Spread your knees open wide as your hips. And you can just have your feet be right flat against the floor, the tops of your feet. And then begin to come into some cat and cow breathing and moving of the spine. So just go ahead and you can drop your belly towards the earth as you curl your tailbone up, inhaling, arching your spine, and then exhaling, coiling in. Press your hands into the earth and round your upper back, chin to chest. Press your navel to your spine. cat pose, rounding your back toward the ceiling, separating the shoulder blades. Try that again. So inhale and sway. And then exhale to round. Do this with the breath. Inhale, arching. Exhale, coiling in. Couple more rounds on your own, inhaling. Full breath in for one motion. Full breath out for your other posture. Cow and cat. You're just moving that spine in two different directions. Just starting to awaken into the vertebrae, the little bones in your back. And then go ahead and move in any other ways that you would like. I like to circle my hips around and just start to open up into my pelvis and my hip flexors. Make sure that whatever you're doing, try it on the other side as well, just gently warming up. If you want, you can flip your wrists over if you want to stretch out the wrists a little bit, knuckles, fingers, just really doing anything that gets you a little bit warmed up. Feel free to come back to your child's pose anytime. So in child, snuggle your rib cage in between the thighs, let the forehead come down, really ground down onto the heels with your sitting bones. Taking big breaths into your back body, filling up and feeling that surrender. So you can feel free to surrender anytime you want to. If you feel like you're fighting all the time, just surrender. Take a child's pose whenever you want. I saw this funny Facebook thing that showed a woman in the aisle of the supermarket. It was really funny. And she was in child's pose and she said, "My yoga teacher said I could take child's pose anytime." And I thought that was really funny. So anyway, let's come on up towards the top of your mat and we'll come into our first downward facing dog today. So from your tabletop shape, go ahead and turn your toes under. Inhale, hover the knees. Exhale, send the sitting bones back towards the heels. And then just start out by paddling the feet and rocking from side to side, getting used to that first downward facing dog. Maybe it's not your first. Move in any way you'd like. You can alternately bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you pivot on the ball of the feet and bend your side bodies, bend your knees. Just stretch any way you want to in your downward dog, and then eventually coming to relative stillness here in your downward dog, taking some deep breaths, allowing yourself to feel that opening between the shoulder blades. So it's kind of like you're wrapping your shoulders around and down towards the mat, opening wide into the back body, and then sending your sitting bones way back towards the heels, making the heels feel heavy towards the earth. Take an inhale breath, rise up on your tippy toes, and then exhale, re-ground the heels. Send your heels down as far as they can towards the mat. Try that again. Inhale, breath rising. And then exhale, releasing the heels. One more time like that. Inhale, breath, raise up on tippy toes. And then exhale, dropping the heels down. And then tiptoe your feet forward towards your hands, top of the mat to your forward fold. Spread your feet hip width apart. And then dangle down over the legs in your forward fold. Feel free to grab opposite elbows. Feel the weight of your elbows and your head. And sway from side to side if you like, if this feels good on your back. Bend your knees as much as you want to. Maybe you even feel that you're resting your rib cage onto your thighs. Couple deep breaths here in your Uttanasana forward fold. And then exhale, drop the hands all the way down like a rag doll. Start to slowly round your way up to standing. Take your time, let your head and arms be really heavy. Maybe you feel the blood rushing down to your fingertips. And start stacking the vertebrae, the bones in your back, one on top of the other, until you start to get really tall. Unfurl your head and chin last. mountain pose. Turn your palms forward, thumbs out, and smile. Anatomical position, anterior view of the body. And then feel your quadriceps getting nice and strong. Feel that you're making your kneecaps rise up towards your quadriceps. Strengthen through the toes, lift and spread them, re-land the toes down. Really feel grounded and connected into the earth. So imagine you're this really strong tree and your roots are shooting out through your feet, connecting you down into the earth. Take a deep breath in, shrug your shoulders up towards the ears, and then make a big circle backwards. And then exhale. Release your shoulder blades down on either side of your spine. Try that again. Inhale, breath, shrugging up. Big circle. Exhale, glide the shoulders down your back. One more breath that way. Inhale, breath. Shoulders come up towards the ears. Big circle backwards, spreading out through the heart. Exhale, lowering the shoulder blades down your back. This time, inhale the arms all the way up, upward salute, look up, lengthen your side bodies. Exhale, dive down and fold over the legs. Uttanasana. Take a halfway lift here, either your fingertips on the earth if you reach the floor, or hands on your shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. And then exhale, release, and dangle down over the legs. Try that again. Place your hands either on your shins or on the earth. Inhale, pull yourself out of your pelvis. Lengthen your spine and then zip your belly button in and up so your back gets really flat. Halfway lift. And then exhale, release, and fold. Try that one more time. Inhale, breath to lengthen. And then exhale, breath to fold. Plant your hands on either side of your feet and step back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Feel free to exhale through the mouth. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. One more breath and exhale. Tiptoe forward to the top of your mat. Spread your feet hip width apart, forward fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift, lengthen the spine, look forward. And then exhale to release and fold. Rising up, sweep the arms out wide. Inhale, breath, look up, stretch long. And then exhale, folding right back down over the legs. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. And then exhale to release and fold. Plant your hands on either side of your feet and step back to your plank pose, top of a push-up. So knowing that always your plank can also be with the knees down on the mat, just like this. Keep your belly button engaged nice and firm into your spine, wherever you are, high push-up or on the knees. And then take a breath in, lean your shoulders over the hands. So press through the toes if you're on your toes. If you're on your knees, just lean the shoulders over the hands. And then everybody lower down by bending the elbows straight back. Or you can come down knees, chest and chin. Inhale, lengthen the body, untuck the toes. Lift head and shoulders as you inhale for cobra pose. And then come back all the way down, forehead to the earth. Twice more. Inhale, breath, lift head and shoulders. Roll the shoulders back, open through the heart, cobra. And then exhale, release your forehead all the way down to the earth. One more time. Press the feet into the floor. Inhale, lift head and shoulders. Roll the shoulders back, open across the collarbones, cobra pose. And then exhale, release yourself down. Inhale, pressing back up through your tabletop, tucking your toes, lifting knees, lifting hips, downward facing dog. We're going to take 3 breaths here in your downward dog. Feel free to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale, breath. Exhale. One more deep breath here. Exhale, melting your heart down closer to the mat. Bring your your feet together to touch. Connect your big toes together. As you inhale, let your right heel rise up toward the ceiling. And then bend that knee, stack your hips, so opening to the right side. Point your right knee up toward the ceiling. And then see if you can keep your weight evenly distributed in both of your arms. So it's pretty easy to tip over to the left side when you're lifting that right leg up. So square out the shoulders. And then inhale, re-extend that leg, and then re-square your hips by rolling the whole thigh, toes pointing down towards the mat. Take another breath here in three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, bend your knee, bring it forward, shift your shoulders over the hands. Round your back like cat. So really squeeze that foot up towards your glutes, like you're kissing your knee. And then step your foot through between the hands. We're going to come into a crescent pose, but first, before you rise up, make sure your right knee is right over the right ankle. Hands can be on blocks or books if you need to. You're on the ball of the back foot. And then press into that right foot. Inhale, take your arms to reach back behind you. Inhale, stand all the way up high, crescent lunge. Take a deep breath in, look up towards the hands. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bow forward, bringing the arms forward and then reaching them back like a 45-degree bend. Inhale, taking the arms up, looking up. And this time, as you bow down, you're going to take your left hand to the inside of the right foot. Continue that right arm back, making a swooping motion up toward the ceiling, opening for a twist to the right side. Take a deep breath in, opening through the right chest and spiraling your rib cage around your spine in this twist. Take another deep breath here. And then as you square out and come forward, reach your right arm forward. Ground into your feet, swoop your right arm down, reach back again. Inhale with that 45-degree bow. Exhale, rise up to your high crescent pose. Take a breath in, looking up. As you exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. And you're going to come up into a standing split. So come over your right leg and lift the back leg up toward the ceiling. So your hands can support you. Try to keep that left leg square. So really rotate the leg in. So the back of your hamstrings are pointing up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend into the right knee, land back softly into your lunge shape. Inhale, breath, rise up again. Exhale, breath, frame your front foot. And then step your right foot back to meet your left in a plank pose. Inhale, breath in your plank. Press your shoulders over the hands. And then exhale, release yourself down for your vinyasa any way you like. So you can lower knees, chest, chin, or you can lower through chaturanga if you like, bending the elbows at 90 degrees. Inhale, coming up for your back bend. So we're just getting started here. You can do cobra if you already feel pretty warmed up and you like upward facing dog. You can just rise up, arms straight, shoulders over the hands, belly is engaged. And then lift your hips, untuck your toes, coming back to your downward facing dog. You can always come through your tabletop shape, coming back to your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Inhale and exhale. One more deep breath here in your downward dog. And exhale completely. Bring your toes together to touch. I'm going to do this sideways. As you inhale, sweep your left leg up toward the sky. Really feel those hip points pointing down towards the mat. Square the hips, so rotate that left inner thigh and foot inward. Now go ahead and bend that knee. And then stack your left hip on top of your right hip by turning open to the left, pointing the left knee up toward the ceiling. And then try to level out the shoulders. So this means you're going to Press down through the left shoulder a little bit more, so left shoulder and right shoulder are in line. And then inhale, re-extend your leg, re-square the hips, so point those left toes down toward the mat once again. Take a breath in your three-legged dog, and then as you exhale, bend your left knee, bring your shoulders over your hands, bring your knee towards you like you're going to kiss your knee, and then squeeze your left foot up towards your glutes. And then step the foot through between the hands for high lunge pose. Get yourself ready first, whether you're on some blocks, maybe you have some books or some blocks, or maybe your fingertips are on the earth. So left knee is tracking right over left ankle. And then when you're ready and grounded, you're on the ball of the back foot. Inhale, lift your arms up behind you for a 45-degree bow. And then inhale all the way up to standing in your high crescent pose, high lunge posture. Take a look up towards the hands, right between the hands. Inhale, breath. As you exhale, you fold over 45 degrees. Stretch your arms forward and then reach them back to bow. Inhale, rising back up again. Reach the arms up. And then this time, as you exhale, coming forward, keep the left arm going back behind you. Land your right hand on the inside of your right foot. Sweep that left arm up and twist open to the left side. Take a deep breath in. Take a gaze point up toward the left hand if you can. And exhale. Take another deep breath here in your twist. Feel your spine getting a nice curling action, rib cage hugging around the spine. And then as you exhale, point your left arm forward as you square your hips back out. Take both hands behind you in that 45-degree bow. Reach them back. Inhale, breath, rise all the way up again. High crescent pose, looking up, inhale. And then as you exhale, land both of your hands to frame your front foot, and you're going to press into that standing split and lift your right leg up. So keep rotating your right leg in towards the midline, so you feel like your foot is really square, hips are square. Inhale, breath. As you exhale, bend back into that left leg, landing softly in your crescent lunge again. Inhale, breath, rise up. Look up. Exhale, hands down to frame your front foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Plank pose. Plank of your choice, high plank or variation with knees down. Another variation if wrists are hurting, come down into a forearm plank. There's always options. And then lower down for your vinyasa as you exhale, come down, either knees, chest, chin. Hands framing your chest. Inhale for your back bend of choice. So it might be a cobra, might be upward facing dog, might be something else that we do in this class. And then exhale, coming back home, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here in your downward dog. Deep breath in through the nose and exhale completely. Deep breath in and a long breath out. One more deep breath. And exhale, bring the toes together to touch. As you inhale, right leg paints the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, stack your hips to open. And let's start making some circles now. So opening up and awakening the right hip socket. Make a couple circles in each direction. And just feel what you feel in this hip socket. And then go ahead and inhale, re-extend the leg, re-square the hips. And then exhale, bring your knee and foot forward for warrior 1. So back foot is going to ground, heel is going to ground, toes turn out 45 degrees. Inhale, rise up. Place your hands on your hips for a moment. I always like to try to have my students square the hips to the front of the room. So you're going to pull that right hip back, left hip forward. hip points facing forward. Then inhale, take the arms all the way up, and then interlace your fingers, forming a little temple mudra. So allow that your index fingers can extend all the way up. You can cross the thumbs, palms are together, and then take an inhale breath looking up towards your temple. And then really stretching your spine up out of your pelvis towards your fingers. Maybe you lean back a little bit, feeling a slight back bend and a stretching of the left hip flexors. And then exhale, coming back up to neutral if you went for a back bend. And then release the hands. Let's interlace the hands behind your back now. So go ahead and inhale, roll your shoulders back, press your temple mudra down, past your tailbone towards the earth. You can keep your tricep muscles engaged. You don't have to lock out your arms. You can keep that engagement. And then toe heel your right foot out to the side a little bit to give yourself some room. We're going to fold over. So take a breath in, look up, open through the collarbones. And then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward on the inside of your right knee. Humble warrior variation here. And so you've made some room. See if your right shoulder can nestle in on the inside of your right knee. And then you can lift your hands off your back any amount that is comfortable for you. Gaze back towards the left foot and make sure you feel the grounding of that left pinky toe side edge of the foot. Take another deep breath here, opening up into the right outer hip, right hamstrings. And then exhale, start to come up, release the hands, reach the arms all the way back up in your warrior one. Toe heel your right foot back to center. Exhale, taking your hands down to the earth, stepping back to your plank pose. Inhale, breath in plank, press forward over the hands, and then exhale your journey down through your vinyasa, lowering down, inhaling to find back bend of your choice. So I'm doing Sphinx right here. Feel free to do Cobra or Upward Facing Dog or any other back bend that you like. If you're in Sphinx, you're on your forearms, elbows are tucked in towards your rib cage, elbows underneath shoulders, 90-degree bend in the arms, spreading the fingers nice and wide, zipping the belly button in and up, engaging your core, and then lengthening through the spine all the way through the crown of the head. Long spine from tailbone to crown. Engage into the fingers as if you're pulling your heart right between your biceps for Sphinx pose. If you're doing Sphinx pose, you might be doing some other back bend. And then release yourself down. Exhale the breath. Press yourself up and back to your downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here as we rest actively in downward facing dog, or feel free to rest the knees down and come into your child's pose, resting in this posture. So totally up to you, it's your practice. Take what you need and leave what you don't need. Take one more breath wherever you are. And if you're in child, you can meet us back in downward facing dog. And bring your feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep the left heel up high to the sky, bending the knee and stacking the hips to open. Left hip on top of right hip, so you're spinning open to the left. Left knee pointing up toward the ceiling, but shoulders are nice and level. Start to circle your knee around in space, like you have a little paintbrush on your knee and you're painting some circles on the ceiling. And try going in the other direction, just opening up your hip socket. And this side might feel different than the other, that's totally fine. Inhale, re-extend the leg, re-square the hips. And then exhale, bend your knees, step it forward between the hands. Warrior one. So grounding your back heel, turning the back toes out to the right about 45 degrees. Inhale, rise up, checking your hips that they're nice and square. So left hip is going to go back a little bit, right hip is forward. Left knee is right over that left ankle. Inhale, take your arms all the way up. Interlace your fingers above your head, forming that little temple mudra. So you can extend your index fingers, cross your thumbs together, palms can connect. And then look up towards that temple. Inhale, rise up through the core, stretching the spine, getting nice and tall first, and then maybe taking a little lean back. Feeling the stretch in that right hip flexor. Exhale, release, come back to neutral. Release the hands and interlace them behind your back. Take your left foot out to the left side of the mat a little bit. Toe heel that foot open, broadening your base of support. And then go ahead and inhale, roll the shoulders back, open through the collarbones, and then press your index fingers down your tailbone towards the mat. No need to lock out the elbows. In fact, you're using your tricep muscles more if you keep the arms a little bit bent and engaged. Inhale, breath, open through the chest, gaze up. Exhale, breath, you fold humbly over that left leg. So if you need more room, toe heel that foot out a little bit more even and see if you can get yourself to bow squarely to the front, nestling your left shoulder on the inside of your left knee. So you might feel a lot of stretching on the outside of the left hip. Take your hands and lift them off your back any amount. Deep breaths here, looking back towards your right foot. If your right toes are turning all yellow, you're really gripping hard. Just relax your toes, maybe tap them up and down. And then inhale, breath, release the hands, reach the arms all the way back up. Toe heel your left foot back to center. And then exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. Step back to your plank pose. Remember, plank of your choice, not my choice. Knees can be down. Forearm plank can be happening. Take what you need. Inhale, breath. Come forward over the hands like you're peeking over the edge of your mat. Exhale, lower yourself down for your connecting flow. So that can be knees, chest, chin. If you want to amp it up, chaturanga, bending and hovering at 90 degrees. Elbows bent at 90. Lower yourself all the way down. Untuck your toes. Inhale. Choose your back bend. So I did Sphinx last time. If you want Shalabhasana, you can feel free to reach the arms straight back, palms facing the ceiling. Inhale, raise your head and shoulders, raise your hands towards the ceiling, raise your feet up. Locust pose, stretching front to back like somebody's pulling you from the feet and from your head. Lengthen through your spine. So you don't have to really arch your head up. You can just lengthen through the crown of the head. And then exhale, release yourself down. Press up and back. Let's all go to a child's pose. Open the knees out wide. Settle your chest down right between your legs. Ground down onto your heels. Take a few deep breaths here. So just remember, take breaks whenever you want to. Take some water to drink. Take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly making your way back up to your downward facing dog. Settling in, stretching the spine, pressing away from your hands, away from the wrists. Bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep that right leg up high to the sky. Opportunity to bend that knee and stack the hips if you like how that feels, opening up. And then inhale, re-extend the leg. Re-square your hips. And then you're going to step your right foot through between your hands. And we're going to lower the back knee down for a low lunge. So feel free to pad your back knee. Sometimes you just need like maybe a washcloth, a towel, a blanket. Feel free to pad that left knee in your low lunge shape. And then make sure that your right knee is hovering right over your right ankle. So you're getting a nice big stretch in that left hip flexor if that foot is way back there. So I'm going to just show you. If you're like this with the knee right on your kneecap, try to reframe this posture. So take your hands, frame your foot, and then get on the ball of the back foot, and then wiggle on the ball of your back foot way back there. Then you can re-land that back knee down, and then your hip flexor will be open more and you won't be on your kneecap. So in your low lunge, you can take one or two hands up to your knee, just feeling this nice stretch out on that left side. And then from here, inhale, take one or both arms up. And then see if you can press into this right foot to get a little bit taller. So rising up. Press your belly button in toward your spine. Really feel that core connection. Look up. Energize through the fingers. Inhale, breath. And then as you exhale, come down through Anjali Mudra, hands in front of the heart. And you're going to twist open to your right side. So you can take that left elbow and you can help it across to the outside of your right knee. Palms connecting. And then push into the palms. See if you can feel this lifting and twisting sensation of the whole rib cage up and over that right thigh. So let's take a couple breaths here. This is really great for digestion, just squeezing. Imagine that you're taking a sponge and you're wringing it out. So we're kind of rinsing out the organs with some fresh blood here as we twist. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, come forward, frame your front foot, and then we're going to shift our weight back towards the left heel, stretching out the front leg. You can come up onto the heel of your front foot for a half split pose, Hanumanasana. Shift your weight back, and then go ahead and stretch out of your pelvis. So look forward, like when we do flat back, look forward. And then exhale, release the breath, maybe bending into the elbows and releasing your heart down towards your front shin. So if the stretch is pretty intense, you can release it by coming up as you inhale, stretch your spine, give it a little break, and then exhale, refold yourself down. Try that again. Inhale, breath, rise up. Just releasing your stretch a little bit. You might find that you go lower each time. Exhale the breath. And then inhale, start to come back up. Plant your right foot so you're coming back into your low lunge shape. Tuck your back toes under, frame your front foot, lift your knee off the earth. If you had padding, you can move it out of the way. Step your right foot back, plank pose. Inhale in your plank, press forward. Exhale as you flow. Let the air out. Inhale up for your back bend, you're choosing. And then exhale, lift the hips, untuck the feet, come back to your downward facing dog. Feel free to come back through your tabletop shape, no problem. Modify as necessary. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it go. Exhale. Inhale, breath, and then exhale completely. One more deep breath here in your downward dog. And then exhale, bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep that left heel up toward the sky. Opportunity to bend that knee and stack the hips to open to the left side. if you like that stretch. Inhale the leg up, re-square your hips, point your toes down towards the earth. Exhale, stepping forward between the hands. And we're coming into that long lunge shape. So start out by really taking a long lunge. So wiggle your right foot back pretty far. Take padding if you need it. And then lower that right knee down towards the ground. Untuck your right toes. Or if you feel more stable, you can feel free to keep the toes tucked under. I like to press the top of my foot into the ground. And then inhale, rise up, hands to the knee. Make sure your left knee is stacking right over that left ankle. Feel that stretching out of that right hip flexor. So we're just opening up the other side now. Right here, hip flexor. And then go ahead and take the arms up. Inhale, breath, reach one, and then your other arm up. Now see if you can get a little bit taller. Inhale, breath, press through the foot to rise. Look up, open through the fingers. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart, twisting open to the left side. So you can feel free to grab that right elbow, twist it over your left knee, press your palms together, and then inhale, lift your whole rib cage up over that left knee. Look toward the left side. Just feeling a nice squishing action for those internal organs. Take another deep breath here. And then as you exhale, unwind, coming back to the front. Gonna rock back to your half split posture now. So take your weight back over the right heel as you begin to lengthen your left leg. Feel free to come onto the heel of your left foot, flexing your left toes up towards your head. So again, you could be on your fingertips or you could be up on some supports if you have some blocks. Whatever helps you to access a stretch here. And then go ahead and fold over the leg. You might just bend the arms, releasing your head down. And again, when this gets a little bit intense, release your stretch by coming up. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, let yourself fold back in again. Inhale and lengthen, releasing the stretch. And then exhale to fold. One more time, inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, fold over the leg. Then inhale, start to come back up. Plant your left foot down, bend back into that low lunge shape. Frame your front foot, step onto the ball of the back foot, and raise your right knee off the earth. Step your left foot back to meet your right plank pose. Modify it however you need to. Take an inhale breath here, looking forward. And then exhale, release yourself all the way down to your belly. So opportunity for a couple other back bends here. So through this practice, I've done a Sphinx pose and a Shalabhasana. If you followed me, maybe you've done those as well. So if you'd like an opportunity for a bow pose now, take your arms straight back, palms facing the ceiling for now, and then bend both of the knees. Reach back, grabbing onto your feet. Inhale, press the feet into the hands. Lift your chest off the earth. Lift your feet up toward the ceiling for bow pose. See if you can keep breathing. Opening through the heart. Opening across the collarbones. And then exhale, slowly release yourself down. Release the legs. Wobble out the hips. Feel free to windshield wiper the legs. And then when you're ready, just pressing yourself up and back to a child's pose. Feel free to rest your arms anywhere you like. If you want to feel a stretch of your tricep muscles, you can join your palms together in reverse prayer, touching your thumbs to the back of your neck and walking the elbows forward alongside your temples. Take a deep breath into the back body. And then release your hands down, coming up and meeting in a downward facing dog. Bringing the feet together to touch. As you inhale, lift your right leg up high to the sky, bending the knee and stacking the hips to open if you like. Inhaling to re-extend the leg and re-square the hips. And then exhaling, stepping the right foot forward between the hands. So let's go ahead and take the right arm on the inside of the right foot for lizard pose. You can toe heel your right foot out to the side, right side of your mat, so you have more room for both of your arms on the inside of your right foot. And then feel free to take a couple of blocks or books, if you have any props that you can use to rest your forearms down in your lizard shape. And then in your lizard, you can also feel free to lower your back knee down. So you can be either leg extended on the ball of your foot, or you can lower that left knee down to the earth, untucking the toes. And just feeling that stretch, you're going to feel a lot of right hamstring stretch, back of the right leg, inner groins. So there's lots of variations to this posture, and if you want to take some of those, you can either hang out right here, or if you'd like to take more of a hip opening stretch, you can take your right hand and gently put it on the inside of your right knee. Gently press it open until your right foot spins open to land on the pinky toe side edge of that right foot, the blade of that right foot. So you're just getting more of an opening in the inner hips now. And then you can bring that foot back to land it. We're going to go into that crazy hamstring quad stretch from here. So you can move blocks out of the way if you have blocks or props. Take both of your hands are on the inside of your right foot. And then bend your left knee, so you're bringing your left heel up towards your glutes. Reach your right arm forward and around and see if you can access that big toe side edge of your left foot. If that's not accessible, your hand can come right back to your sacrum. Place your hand right on your sacrum and start to open and twist to the right side. So if you have your foot, you can try to spin your hand over the tops of your toes to the pinky toe side edge of your foot. And then you can roll your right shoulder back to really open through the heart as you twist and look over to the right. Maybe you catch a glimpse of your back foot or the back wall. Stretching out the quad with a big twist. And then inhale, breath. And then exhale. Release, come back around to the front. You can release your left foot down. Walk your right foot in towards the center a little bit. Take your right hand to the outside of your right foot. And then get on the ball of the back foot. No, I'm kidding. Leave your foot down. We're going to go into a variation of a side plank from here. So let me do it this way so you can see better. Okay, so you should be here, hands on framing your right foot, that left knee is down. So yeah, go ahead and get on the ball of the back foot, lift your knee off the ground, and then choices, you can stay on the left hand or you can come down to the forearm. But what you're going to do is start turning your right toes open, dial your right toes open to the right. And then you're going to spin off the ball of your back foot to the pinky toe side edge for a awkward looking side plank. So The stretch on the outer right hip is going to be much more intense if your foot is up high. You can walk your right foot down closer to your hip if you like. And then another option, you can come down onto your left forearm. So your forearm can be parallel to the top edge of your mat. Spread your fingers wide, ground your hand down. So now you're on the pinky toe side edge of your left foot. And then choices, you can lift your right arm up toward the ceiling, or you can place your right hand on your hip if you like. Press into the right sole of the right foot. And then as you press into the foot, maybe press into your pinky toe side edge and lift the right hip up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, lower back down. Come back to the front. So land your right hand. And then spin back onto the ball of your left foot. Come on up. Bring that foot back to center. Right hand on the outside of the foot. Step back, plank pose. Ooh, that was complicated. Let's see if I can remember it to the other side. Take a vinyasa here if you like, or you can completely skip the vinyasa if you don't want to do it. Inhale, maybe you're feeling really good stretching out the hip flexors. And then exhale, making your way back to your downward facing dog. Woo! Crazy lizard lunge. All right, bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep that left leg up high to the sky. Opportunity to bend the knee and stack the hips to open to the left side. Sweet stretch if you like that. Inhale, re-extend the leg and re-square the hips. And then exhale, step your left foot through between your hands. Now, lizard lunge. So you're going to take your left hand on the inside of the left foot, toe heel your left foot out toward the left side of the mat. And then bring in blocks or books. Maybe you're really stretchy and your forearms are just on the earth. So here we are. You can be on your knee right away if you want to place your knee down. We're all going to eventually get there. So this one's pretty intense if you're up on the ball of your back foot with the leg extended, so feel free to lower the right knee down. And then if you want that variation to open through the groins, you can take your left hand to the inner left knee and start to press that left knee out until your left foot rolls to the pinky toe side edge. So just opening into the inner left groins. Several different stretches going on here. And then go ahead and bring that back. Inhale, let that foot come back to ground. Step on the ball of your back foot. Lift your knee off the earth. Move your blocks out of the way. No, I'm sorry. We're going to put our knee back down for that quad stretch. So go ahead and put your knee back down on the earth. Bend your right knee. Reach your left arm around the outside of your left knee. If you cannot reach this foot, place your left hand right on your sacrum. And then take an inhale breath to turn to look behind you. I can still feel a really big stretch in my right hip flexor. If you have the toes, flip over the toes to the pinky toe side edge of the foot. Roll your left shoulder back, spinning open to the left side. Deep breath in. And then exhale, letting that go, coming back around. Release the foot if you had it. And then take your left hand to the outside of your left foot. No. Outside, let me remember how we did this plank. So, get on the ball of your back foot, lift your knee up off the earth. Yeah, take your left hand to the inside like lizard. And then take your left foot, toes, and dial them open to the left side. Okay? So, you can move your left foot down a little bit closer to be even with your hip, because when the foot is way up here, it's pretty intense on this stretch. So you choose where you want to be, and then once you've turned your toes open to the left, roll onto the pinky toe side edge of the back foot. So either on your right hand, you can take your left arm to your hip or all the way up to the ceiling, or you can bring your right forearm down. Come onto your forearm, right forearm parallel with the edge of your mat. I'm just showing you sideways. All right, so here, hand on hip or arm outstretched. Inhale, press into that left pinky toe side edge. Lift your left hip up toward the ceiling. And then exhale to come down. And then bring your left arm down across so you look like your arms are both, forearms are both parallel and you're in your lizard. And then go ahead and bring your arms to a Sphinx pose. Bring your left foot back into your plank. So you come into a forearm plank. You're on the ball of your feet or your knees are down. Forearm plank. And then from your forearm plank, whether your knees down or just in a forearm plank, you're going to come up to a Sphinx posture. It's not Sphinx, excuse me, dolphin posture. So start to lift the hips and tiptoe your feet forward. You're already on your forearms. Elbows down, forearms are parallel, fingers spread wide. Walk your feet in as close to your elbows as you can. So it's like this upside down V shape on the forearms. And then press away from your fingers so that your head is going to try to be right between your upper arm muscles for dolphin pose. This is a shoulder strengthener, back opener. And then go ahead and lower the knees down. Come back into a child's pose. Woo, that was an intense stretch. Go ahead and open the knees out wide. Let your forehead come down to child's pose. Wow, that was a lot. And then go ahead and take one more breath here. Slowly come up out of your child's pose. Swing your legs out and around to the front. Sitting in Dandasana. Stretch your legs forward. Flex your toes up toward your head. Hands outside of your sitting bones. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to do a seated forward fold from here. Inhale, take your arms up. And then exhale, fold forward over your legs. So wherever you are, whether you can reach your toes, ankles, shins, knees, folding forward. And then exhale, slowly rise back up. And then come to a seated posture for boat pose. Take your hands right behind your hips. Rock back, inhale, pick your feet up. Balancing on your sitting bones, reach the arms forward. And feel free to lift the legs as high as you can. Sit up nice and tall. And then slowly release yourself down to the ground. So we're going to slowly open this boat. We're going to a low boat shape. Keep hugging that belly button in. And then release yourself all the way down. So we're going to go into our Shavasana resting posture from here. So get as comfortable as you want to. And spread your feet out. Let your feet flop open. Hands open wide. Big breath in and let it out. Leave everything on the mat. Take another deep breath here. I always seem to kind of run out of time for our Shavasana. Remember, at home you can stay in Shavasana as long as you want to. So many aspirations for the practice that I think I try to fit a few too many poses in here. But one of the most important poses is this Shavasana resting posture. So really just let yourself melt into your mat. Deep breaths. opening up space in the rib cage, chest, heart. And releasing anything that you don't need and just leaving it here on your mat. And begin to wiggle your fingers, spreading your toes, just taking some movements here. And then gently bring in one knee and then the other in towards your heart. And just rock from side to side, gently massaging your lower back. And then just make your way over onto one side. And then inhale, press your hands into the floor. Help yourself to come back up to a seated posture. Okay, and feel free to leave the eyes closed, sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath here, feel the effects of your practice today. And we'll close out our practice together with the universal mantra, the universal vibration of Om. Let's go ahead and bring our palms together to touch an Anjali Mudra right in front of the heart. Feel free to chant with me. Take a deep breath in. Light in my soul humbly bows down to the light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining today.